let us know about the Ostwald's dilution law. This law has given a mathematical relationship, derived a mathematical relationship between the dissociation constant K, degree of dissociation alpha, and concentration of the electrolyte. Based on this mathematical expression, we can know how the degree of dissociation of an electrolyte changes with the concentration. Now we are going to derive the mathematical relationship based on the Ostwald's dilution law. According to Arrhenius theory, there exists an equilibrium between the undissociated electrolyte molecules and dissociated ions, where K is the dissociation constant of the electrolyte. According to law of chemical equilibrium, by applying law of chemical equilibrium, the dissociation constant can be written as the product of concentration of a product to that of concentration of reactant. So this is based on the law of chemical equilibrium, right? This is the equation 1. Let us assume we have taken an electrolyte solution having 1 mole of an electrolyte whose value is V, right? So initially, what is the concentration of reactant, that is electrolyte, before the dissociation? This is 1, here it is 0, here it is 0, number of moles. Let us assume alpha electrolyte molecules are dissociated. Therefore, at equilibrium, we will be having alpha number of moles of ions and 1 minus alpha number of undissociated electrolyte molecules, right? So what is the concentration of undissociated electrolyte at equilibrium? The concentration of undissociated electrolyte molecules will be, we know concentration is nothing but number of moles by value. That is nothing but 1 minus alpha by V. At equilibrium, what is the concentration of A minus? Alpha by V. What is the concentration of M plus? Alpha by V. So by substituting these three values in the equation 1, what is the equation 1? Equation 1 is nothing but concentration of ions to that of concentration of undissociated electrolyte molecules. So by substituting the values, we will get alpha by V into alpha by V by 1 minus alpha into V. So what do we get finally? Alpha square by V square into V by 1 minus alpha. These two will get cancelled. So finally what do we get here? K is equals to dissociation constant K is equals to alpha square by 1 minus alpha into V. We know 1 is the initial number of moles and V is the value. So this 1 by V is nothing but concentration. That implies K can be written as alpha square by 1 minus alpha into C. So here, what is alpha? Alpha is nothing but degree of dissociation. Alpha is nothing but here degree of dissociation. That is nothing but number of dissociated molecules by number of dissolved molecules of electrolyte, right? Dissolved molecules of electrolyte, which will be less than 1. So we can neglect this value, alpha value, in the denominator. So by neglecting the alpha value in denominator, neglected in denominator, right? So what do we get here? K equals to alpha square into C. So this is the final mathematical relationship between the dissociation constant of an electrolyte and degree of dissociation of an electrolyte and concentration of the electrolyte solution, where this can be also written as alpha square is equals to K by C. So from this equation, we can write two relations. We can derive two relations. That is, alpha is proportional to square root of K and alpha is proportional to square root of 1 by C. That means the degree of dissociation is directly proportional to the square root of dissociation constant of an electrolyte, and the degree of dissociation of an electrolyte is inversely proportional to the concentration of the electrolyte solution. As the concentration decreases, the degree of dissociation increases, right? So based on this relation, mathematical relationship, we can know how the degree of dissociation is changing with the varying with the dissociation constant as well as concentration. What is the limitations? What are the limitations for Ostwald's dilution law? Usually Ostwald's dilution law is applicable to, what is the limitations? Applicable to strong weak electrolytes. It is applicable to weak electrolytes. Applicable to weak electrolyte. This is the limitation. It is not applicable to strong electrolytes. Not applicable to strong electrolytes. It is not applicable to strong electrolytes. Why it is not applicable to strong electrolytes? Because strong electrolytes will completely undergo ionization. Strong electrolytes will completely undergo ionization at all concentrations. There is no question of existence of equilibrium for strong electrolytes. For strong electrolytes, there is no question of equilibrium for strong electrolytes because it will undergo complete ionization at all concentrations. Therefore, it is only applicable to weak electrolytes and does not applicable to the strong electrolytes.